Well, hello everyone. Welcome in. I am Taffany and this is Tika's Gardens. And today I want to talk to you about evergreen interest in the garden. I figured that we'll kind of walk and look at a lot of the evergreens we have around the garden and how having evergreens in your garden gives you winter interest, something that you can look at when everything else starts to fade away, so that your garden is not just completely empty. When I take a look at my foundation bed here, I have evergreens that are along here that are smaller. Most of my garden is small. It's a baby garden and it is just brand new. So right now we're looking at things as they're smaller. Keep in mind they will get big. We'll start to have, privacy and views blocked from my neighbors and things like that once the things I have grow bigger. But for evergreen interest here along the start of my foundation bed, I have this Gardenia radicans and I have an Indian hawthorn. And my gardenias have still been blooming. And as a matter of fact, two or three nights ago, my husband stepped outside of the door. It was dark, so you can't, it was nighttime. You couldn't really see too good back here because I don't have a lot of lighting out yet. That's a project coming up for this upcoming year. But he was standing like right here where I'm standing, and he's like, something smells good. He came into the house to get me and told me, come outside. What is that smell? And I didn't know what he was talking about. So I came to the door and he's like, no, come step outside. So I stepped outside and I could smell this really nice scent. So I'm thinking there must have been a couple of blooms on this gardenia, but it smelled so good. I don't know what it was from, but it was definitely lovely. But I have two Indian hawthorns in the garden. As a matter of fact, I have one here and I have an Eleanor Tabor hawthorn over here. And this smells so good when it's in bloom, and it actually has berries on it. Let's see if we can kind of get a close-up look at some of those berries. But yes, it smells so good when it is in bloom. But those are kind of some smaller evergreens. I have kind of a repeating theme of my evergreens in the garden. My main things are junipers, cypress, ligustrums. Those are the most repeated elements. And I'm standing here so you can see the entrance into the bedroom garden. I have 5 columnar ligustrums marking the entrance to the bedroom garden. And then I have 3 columnar ligustrums along the back fence. So this part of the garden has the most evergreens, and they're growing very well, especially this one in the center here. There's the Italian cypress there in the corner, and it is so much taller than it was just a few months ago. And I have another kind of ligustrum that is the curved leaf ligustrum right here. So we've got curved leaf ligustrum, we've got several columnar ligustrums, we've got the Italian cypress, and then the other evergreen element here in the bedroom garden are the Parsons junipers, which is this right here. And those along the front. And then there's one more right there. So as you can see, this bedroom garden has quite a bit of evergreen interest. Other pieces of evergreen in here is this jubilation gardenia, which I am smelling often. It has blooms on it as well that are, they were fresher this week. They're kind of fading. But that is how I have provided quite a bit of year-round interest in this garden here in the bedroom garden by adding those elements of evergreens. So when the flowers are gone, when the buds on the shrubs like the hibiscus right here and this hibiscus, when they're gone, we still have evergreen interest. Right now our roses are doing fantastic. But you know, evergreens are the way to keep your garden looking alive year round. As I come out of the bedroom garden, the evergreen interest that is in this bed is Miss Lemon Abelia. And this is an evergreen, but this has more of like a chartreuse green with white edging that kind of has a pinkish tone to the edging, so to speak. Here you can kind of see that. But I have two of them here that gives us evergreen interest when everything else, let me kind of step out of the shadow there, when everything else is, gone. And this small shrub here is also in the juniper family. It is a low growing juniper. It is a blue rug juniper, so it will kind of hug the ground and spread out. The Parsons juniper grows just a little bit taller, as you could see. That won't necessarily get that height, but it will definitely have a spread. So this bed here will have some form of evergreen interest when everything else is, finally gone from a frost. As we walk the pathway here, of course, that's the Eleanor Tabor. But the other part of the garden that has quite a bit of evergreen interest is this back bed with repeating elements. It has blue point junipers, 3 of them. It has 2 sunshine ligustrums. So again, a shrub from the ligustrum family. But as you can see, these are very, very lemony lime in color. And of course, the blue point junipers give us that bluish hint in the garden of evergreen. And then again, we have some Miss Lemon Abelias, 3 of them. And we have dwarf euonymus. Now the dwarf euonymus will become another heavily repeated element in the garden. Here is the second one right there. And as we come to the back here in the courtyard garden, the 2 main elements that are back here right now are 2 more sunshine ligustrums. But this garden has yet to be, really planted and worked on. As you guys know, this is a project that is going to be for 2026. But yeah, as you can see, having this evergreen interest, if everything else were gone right now, I still have some flowers and things, but if everything else was gone, those things would still be in the garden. And of course, the blue point junipers get up to about 10 feet tall, so they will stand up over the fencing and block the view into the garden from our neighbor's house. So we will eventually have the privacy back here that I'm hoping for. As we come to this part of the walkway of the garden, I have 2 more columnar ligustrums, and they're actually growing in an arch, as you can see. If you take a look right here, it is kind of arching up, and the same for this one. It is, let's see, get my finger in here, right there, arching up. So as I step back, they almost, it's like if they grow in that direction, continue, they'll almost be like a trellis or an arbor rather over this walkway. But this walkway will be lined with dwarf euonymus. Right now there are 4. I need 8 more, as you can see. So they will be a highly repeated element. So when other things are no longer in bloom, this will, you know, these evergreens, the other 6 are going to go in this area here, but they will provide interest. So I would say the most highly repeated evergreen items in my garden are columnar, ligustrums in general, the entire family. We have columnar ligustrums, curved leaf ligustrums, and sunshine ligustrums. I would have to say hawthorns. We have Eleanor Tabor and another kind of Indian hawthorn. We have Miss Limonibelia. We have a total of 5 throughout the garden in various places. We have Italian cypress. There are 2 in the front and the 1 back here in the garden. We have, what else? Oh, the dwarf euonymus as repeating elements, and there will be more coming. And then we have the blue point junipers. So that is how I have added evergreen interest to the garden, by adding elements that have quite a bit of height and width to fill out spaces, as well as those that are more skinny and narrow to mark entrances and to provide, you know, some kind of color and interest also on the fencing in the back. So this is to just make the point of how important it is to provide evergreens in your garden, not just flowers and blooming shrubs. You want to have color, but you want to have foundation color. What I call it, that's my wording, I call evergreens your foundational color. It is that base color of the garden. Like your grass is green, you have the green evergreens, you know, in various shades of green, you know, bluish greens, lemony lime greens, dark greens, glossy greens, you know. So guys, if you live in a climate like what I have, those are the ones that I find work well. I'm in Spring, Texas, Zone 9B, and I have tried others that just don't work. But the junipers, cypress, ligustrums, and the euonymus, the main ones, those have done well for me. And then the Indian hawthorns are doing great. I have struggled with the gardenias, but I am going to continue to work on my gardenia planting to see if I can figure out how to keep them alive. It looks like the ones that have done the best, like this one, it's because it's getting more water. It is right near a sprinkler head, which is right there. Whereas these, which are further away, I would have to add extra water by hand. And also, this particular gardenia, this Gardenia radicans, there is a sprinkler head right there. So that is telling me that in my climate, I am going to have to make sure, if I want my gardenias to survive, to give them more water than they may need if they were being planted in other locations. But guys, that is really it. I just wanted to kind of walk the garden with you and talk to you about how to add evergreen interest in your garden, and you know, how to do it in a way that is not just plopping things down, but providing a design. For example, this narrow walkway is going to have shrubs that grow kind of narrow, the dwarf euonymus. And in between that, instead of a long line of just evergreens, which that would look beautiful in itself, I have stuck patches of flowers so there can be some blooms within that, you know, grouping of the dwarf euonymus, so it's not just a long hedge of just green. I do want some flowers in here. How the shrubs back here are acting as foundational shrubs to anchor the fence, provide color, and eventually privacy, along with flowers and other shrubs interwoven among them. So they're not just there providing just a long line of a hedge, they're there mixed in with other things to provide interest and color and different textures. And the best example of that is this bedroom garden. How they are incorporated among the roses and hibiscus, and they are a central part of the design. I really am enjoying this December. I can't believe how nice it has been. Now, don't get me wrong, we have gone from the 30s to 80s, from 32 to 84. So the weather is crazy, but you know, what can you do? But anyway, guys, I hope giving you some examples of evergreens that have worked for me in this climate and my garden and how I've used them, you know, mixed in with flowers and blooming shrubs, and not so much just using them as a hedge, but using them as part of the garden design while still they're there to provide function, which is privacy and everything, and they will anchor the beds. I hope that has helped you to, you know, think about how you can use evergreens in your garden. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for today. I am not on camera because I just wanted to come out and walk and talk, and I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you guys in the next video. So thank you for being out in the garden with me on this beautiful December day. I hope that if you don't get a chance to watch any of the videos leading up to Christmas and you catch this after Christmas, you enjoy your holidays. This will be coming out the Monday before Christmas, so hopefully you'll get to see it before then. But guys, enjoy your holiday, Christmas, New Year's. Enjoy the time with your family, and just try to enjoy what you can of your garden, even though it is winter. Get out and do something and make a memory. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.